What's up, guys? Bonfire here, and welcome to 3-Bar Exploits number 27. I'm joined as always by WhackMed19, and, well, Oyster's not here due to a scheduling conflict. We'll leave it at that. We miss him. We hope to see him back next week. I missed last week, but hey, I'm back. You love it. We all love it. So, we got a great episode for you today. Shout out to Strictly Business Gaming, the great things that they're doing in the competitive gaming world. Look forward to much, much more of that. We appreciate all they do for us. We got a good show, even though it's just the two of us. We got some great topics we want to discuss. A lot of things going on in the industry, both YouTube and gaming. So first, let's start with YouTube, because there's some big changes coming to YouTube. It's been kind of floating around in the Twitter world and the gaming world. And WhackMed, why don't you fill us in a little bit about some of those changes, or potential changes?
Apparently, YouTube's changing because of advertising and sales, is from the video that I've saw, and I'm really limited. Bonfire is going to be carrying us through the beginning of this, the first half of the show, really. Apparently, YouTube wants more control, and we've seen that through the Google Plus integration. They want more control over the comments, over who's doing what, and the video that I saw and the other couple of things that I read really espoused that they're doing this to control the populace, where they can get a handle on what they can send to people to solicit ad money. So what it is they need to be able to tell Snickers, you should advertise on YouTube because we can put your product in front of this kind of people. And they need to be able to specifically narrow down what that kind of people is, that demographic, and be able to properly do what they need to do and advertise for Snickers. Well, that means that they need a little more control than what they have right now. And that's going to mean some big changes for YouTube content creators. And then it'll also mean changes for the people who watch YouTube, because the content is going to be stricter, or there's going to be stricter specifications put on the content that is created and then subsequently uploaded. This is only going to matter for the people who are making money on YouTube, or the people who are partnered and putting ads on their stuff. So if you want to watch gameplay in the future, it may be a non-monetized channel that's doing it. And considering all the stuff that goes into making gameplay videos and the back and forths that are making that, it either means your content creators are going to get poor, and so you're going to go back to crappy content, or you're going to find that content creators are putting out twice as many videos, and less of them will be with actual gameplay, and they'll have face cams or something else, maybe picture slides or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how the rules pan out. But things are going to be modified. Your YouTube inbox is going to look different in the near future.
Yeah, to sum it up, I think it basically gaming and gaming content, I think, is going to be more controlled and restricted, based on what I've heard. And I believe we watched the same video. I think it was tweeted out by Mr. Punkman, one of our good friends of the show here. And I actually talked to him this morning, the day of the recording here, and he said he got a message from his partner that he's partnered with, the network, and they kind of talked about a little bit about that. And what they told him is that what YouTube's planning on doing is basically whatever video you upload, someone within YouTube is going to actually sit down and watch the video and check it, basically screen that video for any copyright infringes and things like that. And this process could take 24 to 48 hours, and that's before it actually gets uploaded live. So that means when you upload a video, it could take 2 days for it to actually show up to your subs. And I think that's interesting, and I think that's almost a topic in its own, because if that's the case, if you've got a hot pressing topic that a lot of these big YouTubers do, let's say there's a big DLC announcement and they all go, upload some quick 1-minute commentary about it to get however many views, that's going to take them 2 days to do it. Because I imagine they would be on the same level as we are because they still need to have their videos screened. So that's pretty interesting to me if that holds true. But I think more so is the restriction of gameplay, and if that actually follows through to the full extent that I hope it doesn't, to where you basically you're going to get a copyright infringement or copyright strike if you upload, even if it's just let's say it's a Call of Duty gameplay or Battlefield gameplay, whatever, a Let's Play even that tons of people do, myself included. I enjoy doing those. If we can't do that anymore, that's going to impact a lot of people, especially people that this is their primary source of income. This is their job, and I'm more curious to see how they're going to adapt, because for me, I'm not monetized at the moment. I don't necessarily have to worry about that if with what Whackmed's saying holds through, but I'm curious at how it's going to go, because from that video that we watched, it says this impacts even the media companies like IGN, GameSpot, Rev3 Games is another one I love to watch. And what are they going to do? Because that's their jobs too, and that's how a lot of us as gamers, even people who don't do YouTube, get gaming information, watch gameplays, watch trailers, and if they're restricted as well, how is that going to impact the industry? I think there's a lot of potential for this to really change how this side of the industry works. I'm hoping it doesn't go to that extent, but it's really an interesting time to see how things are going. And my initial reaction to it was, this kind of sucks, because I want to take this to the next level. I want to continue doing this. I enjoy doing this. I want to be a part of this industry a lot, and YouTube gives me the option and availability to do so in my own creative ways. And if I can't do gameplays, am I gonna have to start doing just vlogs talking about gaming? I feel like I'm gonna really be limited on what I can do in terms of gaming.
I don't know what the future's gonna bring. I don't know what the exact wording is for the way. I don't know how it's worded.
Yeah.
So what is it that's actually limited?
See, and I think that's kind of a cloudy area, because my interpretation is that I think gameplays will be limited. Actual gameplay footage from a game, whether it be your own or even trailers, because a lot of people do those trailer re-uploads. So I think things like, based on my understanding, it seems like those are going to be limited and have the potential for copyright strikes, even though you are adding in content, or if a lot of people do montages and things like that and really add some special effects and things like that. And to me, it sounds like that's what's going to be limited. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, that sucks. I don't like that.
I see Let's Plays would probably be impacted first, because there's very little input that you're actually putting in as a gamer on your Let's Play. Most is a bad word. I really don't like using the word most. Most people who are playing most games are made so that you do something. You follow a storyline. The storyline's already laid out and mapped out so that you do specific things, and or at least some variety of several different things. And there's very little that you actually create in that. Now, there is a lot that you create in a multiplayer game. If you take Battlefield, for instance, there's 64 players, 32 and 32, right?
Yep.
64 players that have spontaneous input, and you provided a canvas. To me, that's almost like an art school handing you a canvas, handing you the paints, the paintbrush, and telling you to paint a picture of something. Letting 64 people have input on that painting, and then coming back and claiming the painting.
I like that metaphor.
That's about the best analogy, and I think that's kind of silly. I think it's silly, but they'll win the argument. They'll win the fight. And YouTube has in the past shown that they're not willing to help the content creators nearly as much as they're willing to stay out of trouble and out of litigation of what's going on in the content.
Yeah. I also think part of it is that they see, I mean, on the gaming side of things, this is definitely a growing thing. As we've seen, it's very competitive out there. And I think we're starting to get some recognition. We've already gotten recognition from, Microsoft and Sony when they're incorporating these types of services on the machines of themselves. And I think we're starting to finally get recognized by YouTube in the sense that they see a slice of the pie that they're not getting. They want more of it.
I don't know. See, I don't know that they're getting a lot of money. Like, I watch a lot of people's videos on my phone, and YouTube takes all that money. If you talk about the gaming section of YouTube is, what are there, 14 subcategories? It's 1/14 of the whole pie, and they are making some money off of that. They're making a lot more money off that than they probably are off of Ray William Johnson's videos. Because of the kids watching them on mobile devices. Because they got a Kindle, they may not have a laptop or the desktop so that they can watch it and actually give the monetized money to. Like, whereas if you watch Ray William Johnson while you're at work, or epic rap battles, or whatever your other outside source of entertainment, not gaming on YouTube, whatever it is that you watch, a lot of adults watch more of that, whereas kids watch a lot more of the gaming, and that's a demographic thing. You can look those stats up yourself if you so choose. I think it's about control, and I don't know that it's going to impact. I don't know that it's going to do what everybody think. I don't think that your doomsday scenario is going to come true.
Good. Well, I hope so.
but the reason I say that is because that's broad brush. That would be a huge, like, when you're talking about the gaming section of YouTube, would then be fairly non-existent. They would be saying we're cutting out a section of our channel.
It's true.
And you say, well, what about the people who are not making money off of it? What about other people? That's great. You're going to have some good channels that come up, and you're going to have some good channels that fall off. If Bonfire doesn't start making a living off of this in 4 years, he'll probably be devoting a lot of time to something else that will take away from the time he puts into this. In essence, you could say I don't get paid for this. I get paid so little that the money in making these isn't even a thought. My payment comes in viewership. I hit 251 in subscribers. That's how I get paid, even though technically I am earning 1,000th of a penny for some of your views. And that's a generalization. That's not an exact monetary figure, but it's not extremely far off either. You can check me out on Social Blade if you need to see how much of that YouTube money I be getting. I don't think a lot of things don't come with broad brush, but they come with broad brush branding, in that you'll see this is going to be sold as this huge difference and this huge change, when it's actually this kind of a difference and this kind of a change. And it may be that the copyright, technically, I found out later, technically you can upload and charge for your gameplay videos right now without any kind of partnership or anything. And you don't have to worry about it, except that it'll continue to pop up copyright infringement question marks, and you have to keep answering questions, and it's just a big pain in the butt. And so a partner says, leave them alone, they're fine. Leave them alone, they're fine. Leave them alone, they're fine. Because it doesn't go through that same upload algorithm or something to that effect. That's really simplified, overly simplified. So what it comes over to after that is, are the game developers going to put up copyright infringements? Because really what you're going to have here is Blizzard Activision, or Activision Blizzard, EA, Maker, and all the different gaming companies are going to have to say, no, YouTube, we want you to find any of our gameplay stuff and scrub them. Make sure that they're non-monetized if they're uploaded. And I don't know that they're going to do that. However, that would be even more. See, the thing is, that's going to aggravate their advertising dollars. That's going to get back at EA. If you have T. Martin out there telling 2 million people they need to get Ghosts because it's awesome a week before the game it comes out, even though you embargo him and limit what he can actually put on YouTube, you're counting on him telling 2 million people, word of mouth advertising, your product is a thumbs up product. And the game developers are just coming around to that. If you take it all away, all at one time, I think the game developers will have a backlash because they're losing tons in advertising that YouTube is paying for them.
Yep, basically.
Because when it comes down to it, that's what it is YouTube is paying me to advertise something for Activision when I upload Call of Duty.
Yeah. That's a good point, because as I've followed a lot of these bigger YouTubers, I follow them on Twitter, I get to see, because they tweet out, I headed to, the EA offices to play the new Battlefield DLC or something like that, and they get to capture gameplay because the EA lets them do so, and then they give them an embargo and saying you can upload gameplay on this date and talk about what you've experienced. And it seems like they're finally using bigger YouTubers that have larger audiences as advertising tools, because it's free for them, and what YouTuber wouldn't want to do that?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's very interesting, and it's definitely something that we will all stay on top of because it impacts all of us, and I'm really curious to see how it plays out and what the actual impact will be to the gamers ourselves, us who enjoy playing games and uploading them. And you talked about Let's Plays being first, and I think you're absolutely right. Those are the game videos that are going to be impacted right away, and I'll probably be one of those people, even though I'm not monetized. They'll say, hey, you can't do that or whatever, and that's fine. And I still want to share those experiences, so that leads me to believe my only option would be to live stream those, and then cut and paste highlights via Twitch or Ustream, those live streaming services. And will we see a shift from YouTube over to Twitch more so? I don't know. I mean, that seems like a more logical way of doing something very similar.
I don't like Let's Play channels, and it's not because I feel like it's kind of like watching somebody else beat the game for you, and it's not that I don't like the channels as much as I don't understand it. I guess I said that wrong. I don't understand Let's Play channels, and it's like, I don't watch any Let's Plays, and it's because if I want to play a good game, then I will ask someone what they think about the game. Bonfire, what do you think? You're doing a Let's Play right now of Call of Duty Ghosts for the campaign. Yep. What do you think about the campaign? I would be more interested in knowing what you think about the campaign in 4 minutes and 23 seconds than I would be for you to upload all of these Let's Plays. What do you think about it, by the way?
It's good. It's a huge change from Black Ops 2. In the format that Black Ops 2 gave you quote unquote consequence of choice in certain situations, in certain scenarios, because they play out a little bit differently and branch out. It wasn't a big branch out, but I played through the Black Ops 2 a couple times, and I made different decisions to see how it would affect the game. Ghost's campaign is linear, just like Modern Warfare 3, just like all the Modern Warfare's previous. It's very linear. However, I find myself enjoying the stereotypical moments, like the barging in, the slow motion type things. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. I'm lost for words on them.
We talked about
breaching. That's what it is. Breaching.
What?
breaching.
Breaching.
I'm enjoying those types of moments, and just the cinematic moments in the game are very good. And the video I just uploaded this week, I think it was episode 7, we had a big kind of twist in the plot, if you will, and those moments are cool, and I like where the story's gone so far. Everyone who leaves a comment on those videos say, you're not going to believe the ending. You're not going to believe the ending. They keep saying that, and I haven't actually beat the game yet because I haven't finished filming it, but I'm very excited to see the ending, and I'll have more details for you when I reach the ending, because I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty epic ending. Like there's a big twist or something.
I have espoused for a long time that Riley does not die at the end of the movie, at the end of the game. Movie, game, I don't know. What is the appropriate terminology? It's about the same thing. Campaign.
Yeah.
That Riley doesn't die, and no one had. I guess he doesn't. I don't know the answer to that. I guess he doesn't. No one has left a "ha ha, you were wrong" comment on my video, and I know someone would have been more than happy to do that.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, the guy that left the comment on that video that said your dad dies, remember he left that comment while we were doing a 3-bar exploits?
Oh yeah.
He literally, and this is I sent him the "you're a troll, die in a hole" or whatever it was that Punk Man told me to say, because I was going to leave that up for the viewers. He said, "I'm not a troll," and I was like, "Hey man, this is what the viewers voted to say about you because you had this negative comment from me," or whatever it was. You had to go read the exact comment, but he apologized, and so I wanted to. He actually apologized about 15 minutes ago after we started this episode.
All right, well, shout out to that guy.
Awesome dude. Apparently, appreciate you not being a jerk, and I have been misunderstood in the past. I don't know how I misunderstood it. Your dad dies, but apparently I did, and thank you for wanting to clarify that. I have noticed since since YouTube changed the way the comment system works, when I make a comment back to someone, and I comment back to nearly everyone who comments on my videos.
Yep.
A lot of more people comment back to me.
Yeah, it's like a conversation now.
It is more like a conversation. I'm glad to see that was a positive change. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I do like that aspect. That's a good point.
I'm getting more conversations, and it's actually meaning that I have less people who put negative comments or just overtly negative comments.
Yeah.
And
I think that's their goal too. So unfortunately, it seems like they're achieving that.
You know, they backed up on a lot of the things that were negative about the comment system, though. They have really backed off on them. And yes, you still have to be integrated with Google Plus, but now you can reply to a single comment without having to go to your little bell thing, which was the biggest aggravation. So they fixed that. Now it's almost like it was, except there's
Google
more
Plus
ownership. So I don't know if where it is now was their original goal and it just took some implementation stages.
Yeah.
Or if people like Boogie, who got front page on YouTube for his comment back to YouTube, he actually made it all the way up to front page, trended globally for his letter to YouTube about, I appreciate what you're doing. You're doing it wrong. This is how it is broken. This is what we would like. Where can we go together? And I really appreciate that outlook that he put out, because that's usually where I am. People go, "Oh, I hate that you did this. Why did you do this? Take it away. Make it go away. Make it stop." And I'm like, you know what? You're not in charge. They are. Let's see how we can work together with them to get it an amicable ending or amicable result. And I appreciate that he did that. If you're in a place where you have 1 million subscribers, you should be more vigilant and able to offer more like what he was able to offer to the community. So thumbs up to Boogie.
Yeah, well, there's right and wrong ways to approach certain situations. I mean, if you want to work with someone, because obviously you are working with them, they're your partner in allowing you to be able to do what you do, and you go about it a respectable business-like approach, saying, hey, this is what we like, can we work on this together, you're going to get more of a response than, oh my god, I hate you, I want to kill Vonderhaar. I mean, it's the same type of thing. I mean, you could easily say that the whole Vonderhaar situation, I would think he would respond more so to people saying, hey, I don't like this, can we work on something that's going to work more for the rest of us, instead of, I'm going to kill you. That's stupid. That's not the way you approach things.
I think that actually had some bearing on what we're dealing with now. The fact that he had so many death threats, like this whole little section of your YouTube has this whole big section of people that make comments on it. And of that big subsection, you had a significant, and I'm not going to say a majority or whatever, but there was a significant number of people who made death threats against an executive.
Yep.
That were so serious that the dude had to hire security. This is what you are, like, if you did something, if you cultivated that nature in your workplace, you would be fired. As an executive over that workplace, you would be fired. For YouTube to do nothing, nobody can see my hand movements. You know I like to do hand gestures, and they're all off camera. They're like right here.
Oh, I can see him, but...
Oh, you can see them, but nobody else can. To cultivate this kind of experience it's not healthy for a workplace, which is what this is. YouTube is a workplace, whether you get paid for it or not. It's not beneficial for other content creators or any content creators, because what you're putting out is having death threats against someone else put on it. It's just bad all the way around. And you maybe, I'm joking, that's fine, but like a madman throwing firebrands is one who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking.
Yeah.
Scripture. Boom. Drop it just like that.
Boom.
Just a scripture on you.
I was going to say, when you talk with your hands, you should just do it in your face, like, because if that's where the camera is, it's like...
And now I can't hear because I knocked these things out of my ears. I haven't done that in a really long time. Trying to avoid the earbuds and...
So, enough with YouTube. Something else happened last night. We're done with YouTube. We're moving on. We'll see what happens. So, I think there was this award show last night. It was pretty big in the gaming world, called VGX.
You're still carrying this show.
I know. Don't worry. Fun fact for all of you listeners out there, Whackmed included, even though I dropped this knowledge on him not too long ago. Last year it was called VGAs, and they changed the name to VGX. I don't know why. That's stupid. No one knows what that X stands for. If you know what that X stands for, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm curious.
I know why they changed it.
Why?
Because Samuel L. Jackson left, and that's just sad.
And no one could top his performance on the VGAs.
He took that letter A with him.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, Sammy, we'd like the A back if you watch it, because the X makes no sense. But so the award show happened last night. I didn't watch it myself. Whackmed, did you watch it?
I couldn't make it. It's college. Look, guys.
It was the ACC championship, right?
ACC championship, Pac-12 championship, SEC championship had just finished. Don't worry about it. MEAC champ. I don't know. It was championship Saturday. Everybody's championship was yesterday.
Well, and there was a Blazer game going on, and I'm kind of more into basketball now. I've moved on from college football, as you probably already know if you're a fan of the show. I'm on to basketball, and let me tell you, my team's kicking ass right now, so I'm happy about
the Blazers,
that.
Portland Trail Blazers.
Yep. Even though it was a heartbreaking loss last night, let me share this story with you.
Okay.
So we were not hitting any threes, and we're like one of the hottest three-point shooting team in the NBA right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 9 seconds left. We get the ball. Damian Lillard, our rookie of the year, 2012, he shot a three-pointer with 1.9 seconds left to tie it up, makes it. It's going crazy in there. everyone's excited, like, oh my God, we're coming back. Because we were down 6 with like less than a minute left, and we came back, so now we're tied. 1.9 left. Dallas has got the ball, and Monta Ellis shoots it, makes it, game over. In my time, I've been waiting, in my time and being a Blazers fan and, going to some of the games and things like that, I've been waiting for the heartbreak moment that is the last second shot the other team makes and you walk home a loser. And that was it last night. And very sad. Very sad. But, we're number 1 in the Western Conference right now. Second best record in the NBA, which is more than I could ever ask for. And a lot of people are questioning, are they for real? We beat some of the best teams in the NBA. I don't know, but all I know is I'm just enjoying this moment right now, just as I'm sure you're enjoying Florida State.
I'm fixing to blow two minds, yours and Oyster, and say that didn't y'all just come off one of the longest win streaks in all of basketball?
Not all of basketball. No. Because last year the Miami Heat went on like a 23 win streak.
Y'all were at 17, weren't you?
No, we were at 11.
Okay, I was getting close. I almost had some knowledge.
That's okay.
Just
hey,
a crumb,
I appreciate
not a
that
whole
you
cracker.
tried. I really appreciate that you tried, and it shows that we're making news.
Look,
around the world.
Well, it's what it is it's that word of mouth stuff again. Whereas I know anytime ESPN flashes something up about Portland Trailblazers, I pay attention because it may be valuable to you. It may be something that I can either chide you over or, enjoy with you, like this conversation here, or I do it with Wake Forest, but I just can't. I'm sorry, Oyster, I just can't. Anyway, so, but I paid attention. I saw that they were on a really long streak. It was the second longest currently running while it was going.
Yeah.
And I thought it was at 17, and then I knew the top one was in the mid-20s, or one of the. Well, there's several of them that made it to like 20 something.
Not this season.
Not this season, but like
last season. Last season the Heat went on. Because the record I believe is 33 games held by the Lakers, one of their championship teams. I think in early on years ago. Miami Heat was on pace to break that. I think they made it to like 25, 27. I mean, they were really close, and then the Bulls beat them, and that was a great moment for me because I don't like the Heat. But though the Blazers did set on Friday night, I think it was an NBA record for 3-point percentage in a game, and that was like 73%. Which is insane. And we did a franchise record having 17 threes in one game. So that was awesome. So
17 threes in one game is 21 threes. That's 51 points just off threes.
Yeah. That's insane. In that game, we put up 130 points.
130?
Yeah.
But
we were playing a pretty terrible team, let's be honest, but
it's not uncommon for pro basketball to hit the triple digits.
No,
but 130?
The Blazers have been doing it. Yeah, 130.
I see one that goes over 110. I'm like, all right.
I know, right?
The hoop was big that night.
Exactly.
But 130, that's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying basketball, and I've moved on. So, though I will say, in regards to college football, one, I'm happy that your team's going to the BCS against Auburn. I think that will actually be a really good game because Auburn's playing very well, and they scored a lot. But anyways,
I'm so mad at, I'm going to give you just a few seconds and we'll try to go back to VGX, I promise. Florida State has not been challenged this year. Duke really showed up last night. Duke showed up last night and challenged us in a way we have not yet been challenged. They stood toe-to-toe with us for a quarter and a half. Better than Boston College did, who would have been the last one that I chose that did a really good job of standing with us. I'm so mad we didn't shut them out. So mad that we didn't shut them out. They scored on our 2s and 3s towards the end of the game, and it was 17-0 at halftime. So to make it all the way to the end of the game and let them score on our 2s and 3s with their second string quarterback, I know, but I still think we should have shut them out. Auburn is not better than Missouri. Auburn showed up and played better than Missouri. Auburn showed up with a lot more fire in their belly than Missouri did. Missouri came out flat and still went blow for blow with Auburn for a long time. And eventually, the reason Auburn beat Alabama, which is their emotion, carried them over Missouri. And you know what? The thing is, you say, well, it's emotion, it's not talent. That's true. But the talent is in the coaching to cause the emotion.
Yeah.
And to make the emotion work. The emotion's going to be great till Jameis Winston starts dropping bombs on them. And I don't see a challenge in Auburn. I don't. From what I saw yesterday with Missouri scoring the way they did against Auburn, Jameis Winston sure shouldn't have a problem. And Missouri's defense was not Florida State's defense. Yeah. And Alabama's defense didn't even play like Alabama's defense against Auburn. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad Alabama lost. However, I would like to point out something that Oyster had said in a pre-3-bar conversation that we had one time, which was the SEC reign needs to come to an end with an SEC loss in the national championship. And I don't think so. I think that it would have been just as good of a loss if I think Michigan State could play against Auburn and beat them on any given day. Maybe on any given day, Michigan State has just as good a chance of beating Auburn as Auburn had of beating Alabama or Missouri or us. I don't see anybody out there to challenge Florida State. And it's not haughtiness, it's not anything, but it's like every time Florida State steps on the field, you know that the quarterback only has to play the first half. The reason that we don't have people going and playing on the starting all-conference team is because our people only play half of a football game. Like, there's no one that has required Jameis Winston to be on the field until the final drive, or even close. We've blown everybody out.
That was Oregon last year.
And yeah, and it's one of those things that, you know, we may go into the history books never having seen the 2013 Florida State football team get challenged for a full football game. Like, I really think we're going to beat Auburn 57-35.
That'll be a boring game, to be honest, in my opinion, because I'm not a fan of either team. So,
you want to watch a great football game? Watch Florida State, Alabama. Watch Florida State, Auburn until 6 minutes left in the third quarter. That's when it'll be over.
Yeah, in regards to college football, I've heard someone mention it. I don't know how it's going to play out in what bowl game Oregon will play in, but I want to play Alabama since they lost and we're in a similar zone, you know, going to a BCS bowl game. I want to play Alabama strictly for the point that I feel like over the last, you know, couple seasons, it should have been Oregon, Alabama in a title game. And that's what, at least here on, you know, in Oregon, that's what we wanted. We want Alabama. I think that would be cool. Is that who we get?
That was the speculation.
Wow.
But you may actually get Ohio State.
Oh yeah, they lost. That sucks for that. That's funny. But yeah,
Stanford won, I think.
I'm sure they did. They're going to the Rose Bowl.
They are playing better than when I last railed against them.
Yeah. But hey, Mariota's returning, so that'll be good. We'll see what happens next year.
Mariota is returning. I'm very impressed. Thank you, young man, for being smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
So last night there was this, Saturday night there was this thing called the VGX. It used to be the VGAs, and I'm gonna have to refresh the timestamp now to reflect that. 10 minutes later, we actually get to the VGAs.
So, again, neither of us watched it, but when I got home from the game last night, I made it a point to at least check out the announcements from some of the games that were being announced, because that's what they're known for. Not only are the awards, whatever, but everyone wants to know about some of the big trailers, some of the game announcements that are coming out. And do you know who Telltale Games is?
I've heard of them. They make one game that I really like, but I can't remember what it is. It was a dark game. kind of a... Anyway, go ahead.
Well,
I know who they
they're
are.
best known for the Walking Dead series that they did last year.
What I liked was way before that.
Well, that got Game of the Year like last year, so I haven't played it yet. I plan on it.
The Walking Dead got Game of the Year?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Because it's story. Because I guess what they're known for is almost point and click type adventures, to where it's very, very, very story driven. And the way it branches out like a tree, to where your choices obviously have consequences as you play along and things like that. And I guess the stories are just that good that it made the game stand out. So that's what they're known for. You'll like this maybe because they've teamed up with Gearbox to do a Borderlands, Tales of the Borderlands.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I thought that's pretty cool because it'll be an episodic series similar to The Walking Dead, but in the Borderlands universe. So that'll be pretty cool. They announced that. They also announced a Game of the Thrones series that they didn't really tell us much about, but it is confirmed they're working on Game of the Thrones game. That's a show. Yeah, I haven't watched that show. Game of Thrones, whatever. Jeez.
I hope we're still recording because...
If we're not, that's terrible.
Everything on my screen's frozen, so let's continue. Oh, yep, we're still here, or we're back.
Okay.
One or the other.
All right, well. So from what I've seen of the announcements, and I'll go into a couple more, Telltale Games walked away hands down, stole the show, in my opinion, because they've got a lot of projects that they're working on, and they're doing a lot of great things over there that are getting recognized. I think that's cool. I like story-driven games, so I'm excited to play those games, especially the Borderlands one. I think that'll be cool. I love Borderlands. And I know you're a fan as well, so I'm hoping you maybe give it a go.
Yeah, sure.
But overall, though, I was underwhelmed with some of the announcements I saw. And I'll go over... First, I want to talk about Quantum Break, because that's the Xbox One exclusive. They finally showed a little bit of gameplay, and they talked about the game. Before, I was excited because it seemed like it was also going to be a very story-driven game and had a cool concept with time manipulation. Looked cool. Come to find out, it's your typical Microsoft game. And I'm not trying to downplay Microsoft, but they tend to make games more shooter and action-y than they really need to be. And I feel like that's what they're doing with this based on what I saw, because what it is there's different, I guess, time manipulation things that are happening, and you play as some detective dude that goes and explore these types of events, and as you explore these events, you gain time manipulation powers, but it's also a shooter adventure game. It's third person. After knowing that, I'll still play it, but they lost a day one purchase for me. It doesn't look that exciting based on what I saw. Have you ever heard of Deus Ex? That's kind of like a futuristic stealth game that's like first person and third person. I haven't played any of them actually, but I know they're really popular, and I think they started out on the PC back in the day. That's kind of Deus Ex. I'll spell it. That's how it is.
Deuce.
But Deus Ex, whatever. I think it's pronounced Deus Ex though.
Deus.
I don't know. But the Quantum Break kind of seems like that type of game. Not that that's a bad thing. That's not what I was expecting. So they disappointed me there. Destiny. Are you excited for Destiny?
I thought Destiny was pretty cool. I was wondering if it was going to be the new Borderlands. I know there are people that would shoot me for saying that, but I really like Borderlands 2. And if a game if what I liked in Borderlands 2 is available in Destiny, I perceive that I will probably like Destiny. I saw the E3 stuff about it. Thought it was pretty cool. Not opposed to it. My money is very limited in gaming. I make sure to get all of my pennies worth out of my games. And
that's good.
For me to go buy Battlefield 4, that's great. Then I have 2 games sitting on my desk when I get home that I go, I'm happy with when I play one game and I'm not torn between what I want to devote my time to, which is why I don't get, you went and bought, you got your PS4, you came home with 3 or 4 games.
Well, they gave me a buy one get one for buy two get one free.
I understand your
But I see what you're
predicament.
saying.
What I'm saying is that I'd come home and go, what do I do? What do I do? Because, like, I didn't grow up with a whole bunch of money. For mom or dad to buy a Nintendo game,
Yeah.
it was a big to-do. It only came around, like, twice a year. And you
Yeah.
better hope that they bought a good one. So, yeah, whenever I buy a game, it better give me its money's worth. I'm hoping Destiny is that for a lot of people. I know a ton of people are looking forward to it.
Well, I completely understand what you're saying as far as the money situation, things like that. Trust me, I completely understand. I wasn't rich growing up by any means. I did a lot of my gaming off Blockbuster. Who remembers that, huh?
I got your reference.
All right. Too bad they're not around anymore. But
we had a gas station up the street that had like 10 games for rent, and you could rent them for $1 a day or something like that. Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I like having a lot of games because for me I like having variety because if I play like let's say Ghost for a while, it's not that I'm necessarily bored with it, but I crave something else. I need a little something different. I need to have something different on my plate. Not daily. I'm not gonna say daily because like Battlefield right now, I'm so into that game. It's like it's consumed me almost. But then there's so many games that I want to play and experience that I don't have time for it, and I don't know. I personally I think I'm a game hoarder. I think I have an issue.
Yes, you have an issue, but that may not be it. Yeah, no, it's all about stories. Like I'm a paramedic. I go into people's homes. I see a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
In doing that, if you fell down and broke your leg right now, do you think your house is prepared to have paramedics walk through it? Just the time it took you to answer that question is the answer. Because no one prepares, very few people, that's not true, very few people prepare for the paramedics to actually show up in their house. So I get to see, like, just take a snapshot of your house. This is the kind of place that I go to. And never judge anyone. I never judge anyone whose house looks reasonable, even if it's messy. If you have cockroaches crawling across your everything, that's just nasty, dude. But, if you've got clothes from here to there and you're like, dude, tomorrow is laundry day. Today was laundry day. Whatever. I don't judge, man. Not at all. There are people who have thousands of DVDs. DVDs have only been available for 10 years. Thousands of DVDs. Entire walls. And they're not like pasted on the wall like I can't get to the case. They're not on the wall like this. They're stacked like that, and they're just stacked on top of each other. They're not pasted. I think that's Forza. Hey, look, I didn't grab Call of Duty.
I was gonna say I'm surprised you have a different game.
Hold on. Random chance number two.
Oh.
No. Sorry.
Fail.
A game I can't even play because it doesn't have colorblind assist.
Sad times.
I do like the Battlefield. I'm disappointed in Ghost because Battlefield's got like 3 different versions of colorblind assist. And Ghosts only has regular old colorblind assist.
I actually messed with that in Battlefield. It's different. Because like it changes the colors of like purple, blue, pink, orange, all kinds of things. I'm like, what? Pretty cool. I was gonna say about Destiny though. I think this will be a game you'll like because the more I see it, you've played Halos, at least a Halo game before, right?
I've played Halo 4, trash, and I played Halo 1 on the computer.
I'm sad that you said that, but we'll leave that alone.
The campaign was like the save points are too sticky. I've gotten to a save point with a small amount of ammunition, the wrong guns, and a nominal amount of health, and I just can't do anything with it. I'd have to restart the campaign, and it's after you meet the the other species. So it's
Okay.
I'm too far to start over, and
Can't you choose a chapter though and just start from that chapter? I'm
I
pretty sure. Well, anyways.
it was so compelling I didn't even care.
Wow.
I couldn't get into it, and I credit all the behind the scenes stuff that I watched before the game came out for me not caring, because I know how the story ends, because of what the developers have said. And if I don't know how the story ends, I know close enough to how the story's probably going to end, that if it doesn't end like that, I'll be disappointed. And if it does end like that, I just don't care. I mean, I already knew that. You know, it's kind of like in Ghosts in the campaign. I know Riley doesn't die at the end. I know somebody does. I have a hypothesis on who that is. I know it's a movie that's about a battle and war and stuff like that. And I know that I've played through a few of them. They're kind of fun. They have their moments. It's not worth 6 hours of my gameplay when I could do something else.
Well, in reference to Destiny,
Back to Destiny.
I was gonna say, because the more I see gameplay, the more I hesitate when you go like that. Yeah, I can hear you talking. Yeah. I don't know. Like maybe I don't know. I can hear you.
Oh, wow.
Oh well. I don't want to use the word disappointed, because I'm still excited for Destiny. I'm still hoping it'll deliver what I anticipate, and what I anticipate from all the talk around Destiny when they hyped this game up before they showed us any gameplay was that it's going to be a very open world game, lots of exploration, and a good mixture of Borderlands and Halo. And the more I see it, that exploration, I can't hear you now if you're talking. The more
Okay.
now I can hear you.
Yeah, you go ahead. You were making a good point. I was listening.
Okay. I was going to say the more gameplay I'm seeing, it seems like they're going less from exploration to more of that Halo Borderlands. And that's not a bad thing. But the gameplay, the mechanics, the shooting mechanics look exactly like Halo. When you throw a grenade, when you shoot, the way they move, the way they jump, looks like a reskinned Halo, which to me is slightly disappointing.
They did that super high jump.
It looks like it, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I want it a little different.
So, like, here's the thing, though. You've got Call of Duty Battlefield, which are very naturalistic. The laws of physics apply even more so in Battlefield than in Call of Duty. Thank you, son.
Mm-hmm.
Very strict on how they do things. The laws of physics. Then you've got Halo. Futuristic space with aliens, and you fly like anti-gravity. Laws of physics are still in place, but thank you. But the scenery, the setting is different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you still have laws of physics. You've got Borderlands. The laws of physics are completely off in Borderlands.
Yeah.
But it's still a shooter. Like, no fall damage ever.
I love that.
You've got a limited jump, but it's exceptionally more than it should be for Earth gravity.
Well, you're not on Earth. Maybe that's what their thought process is.
Even though you have less gravity, your grenades have the same specific gravity that they should in Call of Duty with Call of Duty physics. If you hadn't thought about that, you've got this half gravity where you kind of float, but you can only throw a grenade so far instead of it just kind of coasting a really, really long way.
Sure.
What's left? You've got the scenery changing, you got the physics changing, you've got everything strict like it is on Earth. So Borderlands has got one covered, Halo's got one covered, and Call of Duty Battlefield have one covered. What's left for the shooter? Where is And that's really how I lump them. Like,
Yeah.
strict physics, only Earth stuff, Call of Duty. Not strict physics, outside of Earth stuff, Borderlands. I want one game every year to compete for my attention in both of those first-person shooter respected genres. Is that making any sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think I understand what you're saying.
I love that Borderlands kept it fresh with the new DLCs. I didn't keep up with all of them.
They're very good at that.
They did awesome with the fact that they're going through a second season of DLCs. I appreciate that. Yep. Your game wasn't that good to begin with. Not to have 2 years of DLC. I don't think any game is really to keep that much attention because you didn't... Like, you needed to add 3 hours of storyline. And that's not really the right kind of game to add that much kind of storyline on. You would have had to rebuild maps, kind of. They could have done more, but it would have taken a lot more.
Well,
like, they should have built like a Borderlands 2.5. Would have made that game go another year. But, like, it would have needed a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But they're getting there, and I appreciate that they're getting there.
Yeah, I like what Gearbox does with the DLC, just because instead of giving us like a half-assed, Borderlands 2.5 type game, they give us good content to play. I mean, I haven't got any of the Borderlands 2 DLC, unfortunately, but I got all the DLCs for the first Borderlands, and it was great because it would give you a lot of more hours of gameplay. Now, I don't know if Borderlands 2 still gives you that many hours of gameplay, but in Borderlands 1, I mean, you could get a lot of gameplay out of one DLC pack, and it was cool. I mean, I can appreciate that because you really feel like you're getting your money's worth, and I think Gearbox is the best at giving your money's worth of DLC in terms of gameplay.
I think they did just fine. I think they squoze as much money out of it as they could, while still giving a valuable enough product to do that with.
Yeah.
And so, hats off to them. That was good enough. I don't think they knocked it out of the park, but they did more than most others. They did good enough. Okay, not so bad.
Yeah.
Did you see also in the VGAs that there was an announcement for Titanfall?
I did. They announced two more different type of Titans or mechs, whatever you want to call them. That's cool. I mean, I think it's cool that they're giving us different types of vehicles, if you want to call them that, to play against with different abilities and things. It's going to add a little bit more variety to the gameplay. I don't need to know any more about that game. I'm already sold on it, okay? And they probably should have done that, or at least I should have let myself do that with Destiny, because I don't want to see the point to where it is like Destiny, where the more I'm seeing it, the less excited I am for it. With Destiny, the thing is, once they start showing me the exploration factor of that game, because they kept saying that you're going to be able to go explore different planets, go to the moon, explore things on there. You can go anywhere on the planet. Like, that's exciting to me. I like exploring in games. I like having things to explore. That's what I'm looking forward to in Destiny. I don't need to know about the combat because it's Halo. It's Borderlands. That's fine. I like both those games. That's what it looks like to me. Then that's not a bad thing. I think it'll be fun, but I want to go explore. I want to go to Saturn and go explore the Titan moon on Saturn. I want to go explore places like that. I think that would be cool. I want to know more about that. With Titanfall, just stop. Either give me a demo or just give me the game.
Don't give me a demo. Just wait and give the game.
That's probably a better way to do it, but if I can't play the game, I don't want to know anything more until I buy it.
I think I figured out one of the reasons I'm not looking forward to it, and that is because I have not played any of the Ghost campaign. I haven't even booted it up, not even loaded it. Like, I misclicked into it 3 times now. Never gone past that far. I don't care. I don't want to watch this war movie. Mark Wahlberg, I think, is coming out with a new war movie. That thing looks cool, dude. That looks like a cool movie. I'm not excited for Call of Duty's movie. And I guess I'm not excited for. I can only imagine Titanfall is going to be the same movie again, and I don't care to see that movie. So the campaign.
But what about the multiplayer?
So the campaign's kind of out. I have very extremely low expectations for the multiplayer. Extremely low. Just.
Yeah.
I don't.
The thing with that they've said about the campaign, and no one knows how they're going to pull it off. They said that the campaign is almost a part of the multiplayer. Now I don't know what that means. I don't think anyone does at this point, and how they'll pull it off. But so they might not have that same, war story type campaign that you love and hate.
So what I'm seeing would be fun. Would be, and I think you could pull it off better in Battlefield than you could in Call of Duty, and I'm thinking that Titanfall's probably going to look more like Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
If part of your single player game was just to make it through the map, like the map that I played with you, with the building in the middle that falls, whatever the name of that map is.
Yep. Siege of Shanghai.
Siege of Shanghai. If you had to start at the one side, and your objective was to kill 2 enemies, or maybe just to make it to a location and pick up a package. Just say that. You have to make it to a location on the map, pick up a package that none of the multiplayer people can see. Pick up that package and make it all the way to the other side of the map. That's your single player mission.
That would kind of be cool, actually.
That would be awesome.
Especially if you could do it like co-op, like work as like a squad of 4, and like you're the only ones that know where that package is, and you have to work together to fight through all these other players that are on the map.
All 4 of you have to make it through.
Yeah.
And see, then you would be exempt from. And here I show my Battlefield 4 noviceness. But it would make you exempt from whatever advantages this team has over that team, and perks or abilities or whatever. But it doesn't make you invisible. So anyone can take you down. And if you get in the wrong lobby, or on the wrong server, I should say, it's going to take you a while to complete this mission.
Yeah.
But it's always different. So every single time you play through this single player campaign, and you have to go through this multiplayer, call it like a river that runs across the story. Every time you have to ford this river, it's different. Okay, that's kind of cool. And that's kind of what I thought Grand Theft Auto 5 was going to be, with the single player getting in the way of the storyline. Was everybody has their own storyline. But hey, there's that guy running down the street. He's doing his storyline too.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought it was going to be like that. I don't know. I maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I can see ways to integrate single player, multiplayer. So developers must know of really cool ways to make that happen too. Like, if I can do it, if I can think it up just by playing it, people that make $85,000 a year to build this stuff, they can think it up too.
I hope so. There's this game that came out, I think it was 2 years ago. It's called Brink. It was done by Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
That game, to me, because that was a game that they incorporated multiplayer into the campaign. Mm-hmm. And what they did was basically, you got this really weak storyline. I didn't even know what it was, because I didn't even finish the game. That's how bad it was. And you do a cutscene, and then I think while the cutscene's playing, you load into the map with all the other people, and it's basically an objective-based multiplayer match. That's all it really is. And it's terrible. That game just really underdelivered. It had a lot of promise, and the way they went about incorporating the multiplayer into the single player, basically making it an objective for, objective game type, it didn't work. And the story was meaningless, and you were basically just playing objective game types. So I hope that's not the way Titanfall goes about it. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see a lot more in the next, coming months as it approaches its launch. But
cool.
Yeah, Are you excited for The Division? I mean, or do you have any interest in that game?
I do. The Division's actually the yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I do. That
'Cause-
was good. I
Well, I was just gonna say they showed us a little bit about that game.
oh cool. What they show?
Well, it was more like a tech demo, because how that game's going to run, because their sales pitch is it's a true next gen engine.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost said the same thing, but
No, they didn't.
well, they tried to and they failed. But what they showed off is they have a real like a day night cycle in real, like almost, I hesitate to say real time, but it works like in real time within the game, to where it's just it's very detailed. Like snow will melt as the sun comes up, snow will fall, it'll fill things up, and they really just showed off a lot of the environments and the details within the environments with different lightings and things like that. And it wasn't exciting because it's not gameplay, but I thought it was pretty cool that it's going to have, the daylight cycle and have so much detail. It's going to look gorgeous on next gen. That was about all. It was not the most exciting trailer, but just seeing a little bit more of The Division is always a good thing in my opinion, because that game looks really good. And one of the cool things they show, like when you're shooting different things, like the bullets will ricochet, and the sun was up like behind a sign, and the dude was like shooting it and poking holes through it, and you would see like sunlight come through, which you don't really see that in games. So it's very detailed, but that game looks so good. I'm so excited for that game.
Cool.
That's a must play game for me. But other than that, there was one other game that came out. I don't know how I feel about it, and I can't tell if it's an indie title or not. It's let me find it real quick. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, because it came out of nowhere. It was a game that I don't think anyone had ever even anticipated. What was it? Pulling it up.
While you're looking for that, I'm still kind of impressed that they're doing, or not impressed, but I'm surprised that they're doing Game of Thrones as a game. And
yeah, that'll
it's
be
like,
interesting.
why are you continuing to take stories and turn them into games? Apparently, it's a really cool TV show. I hope you like it. I haven't ever seen an episode, so I don't know why. Like, you don't have to bridge the two things. You don't have to. Like, we had talked about this on the episode where I pulled up all the the games out of the box. You don't have to keep bridging game to pizza to The Simpsons is one of them that we didn't mention. The Simpsons even had a Nintendo game. That was a fun game too. You don't have to keep doing that. Did you find your game?
Yes, it's called No Man's Sky, and I think what you get to fly spaceships and things like this in this game based on what I saw in the trailer, but it seems like a really open world game to where you can go to different planets, hop out of your spaceship, and explore. It's all in first person. I don't know. That's about all I know. It looks interesting.
So it's kind of like was it Deus or Destiny then?
I guess, yeah. I if assuming you can fly spaceships and things in Destiny, I would imagine it's very similar. The brand new IP though came out of nowhere, so it was nice to see a new IP.
Okay.
I don't know, that's about all. I like I said though, I think VGX is very underwhelming. I was not impressed.
I still have to go back and watch it, but put a timestamp in here, and we will change to not a random question, but it will be random to you because I didn't tell you. I was going to ask you, do you have any holiday traditions that you think others may or may not have for Christmas time?
So, I guess two that I do with my family. One is both on Christmas Eve that we do. One is we watch Home Alone every year on Christmas Eve. If not Home Alone, it's Christmas Vacation. But that's just a movie me and my family love. That's what we watch, before we, hit the sack on Christmas Eve, if you will. Another one that we do on Christmas Eve, like right after dinner or sometimes before dinner, is we go around the neighborhood. We'd get in a car and we go look at Christmas lights. So we try to go. In the month of December, we try to scope out some of those big neighborhoods with the Christmas lights, and some are just decked out, which is really cool to look at. and
Do
we go check those out.
you have a house or a few houses that get the synchronized music to the lights and then do the little transmitter? There's good.
I was gonna say I'm sure there's one around here. Because when I lived in the other side of town in my younger years, there was a neighborhood, like this whole like cul-de-sac that they were all like one big neighborhood that would get tons of visitors. Like the people in the houses would like hand out candy canes and things like that. Those are the people that like had the synchronized lights, the big light shows. That was incredible. But I don't think we found anything around on this side of town where I live now.
There's one place that I found here in the county that I live in that did. Last year they didn't do it. It makes me sad. We actually have the same. My family, when I became a parent, my wife and I decided that we wanted to have a couple of things that we did, and one of them is on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, we go to one part of my family. We do Christmas with them, and then Christmas Day for us is just straight hectic. But after we get done with family stuff, before we go home and go to bed, we go riding around looking for Christmas lights. There's specific places we go to because of the number of people in that community that do lights. So, that. There's one house that used to do it at the end of a cul-de-sac, and they would get the RF transmitter so that they have a sign in the front yard to turn your radio to this station, and you turn your radio to that station, and the lights would sync up with the radio.
Really?
Yeah, the lights would sync, and they were transmitting it from their house. So it was just a shortwave radio transmitter. And
Yeah.
I mean, like you can get one to put into your phone so that you can hear in the car. It was more powerful than that, and you had to be, like at the end of their driveway. Is driving away from the loop of the cul-de-sac. After you got out of the loop, it was just all static. So It wasn't a very big, maybe 300 or 400, 500 feet worth of transmission. But people would pull up in the cul-de-sac and form an orderly line, and it was customary to stay for 1 minute or so.
Yeah.
And to continue if anybody was behind you. And they did a lot of like Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Nice.
And non-vocal music. It was all instrumental music that I can remember. And their lights were immense. I mean, like everything was lit up everywhere.
Oh man,
like
that's really cool.
All the trees were traced. The entire roof was traced, and all of the everything they hooked up was synchronized. So there's no piece of lighting that wasn't. And that I don't have any idea what their power bill was. I don't care, but thumbs up to the places that go through and do the really cool lights. It's not lost. Do not let it be lost. If you've never gone and rode around and looked at Christmas lights with your family, do that. Either instigate it if you're the child, or just make a point to do it. And this one thing that I've learned in Christmas time is if you don't make time to do it, you will forget it, and then it'll be Christmas and you will have not done it. So
that's one of the things I've noted. Like as getting older, I mean, I'm not some old dude now, but getting older throughout the years, as I've gone from child to teenager to now an adult, on my own working type thing, I've noticed that Christmas comes faster and faster every year, and it doesn't feel like Christmas unless you make it feel like Christmas. Like,
yes, Nick, we could do a whole dual com on that, just separate and apart. But it does. Like I was telling my wife, it doesn't smell like Christmas in here. Fake tree, it doesn't smell like Christmas in here. Like I the other night, I went and put a pot on the stove, put in cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, and something else. Pumpkin spice or something. I don't remember what it was. And just put it on to boil. And as the spices boiled, it filled the air with this aromatic, pumpkin, Christmassy. And I was like, Christmas. Good.
Yeah.
And I hate watching I love the fact that I know words to Rudolph. I don't like watching it, but I do with my kids because I want them to enjoy it too.
And things like that you did as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
that you might not appreciate anymore. But like when I have kids, like I want to do those
Mm-hmm.
things because I want my kids to around Christmas time to really have that same excited uh, feeling you get around Christmas time, because Christmas meant so much to me as a kid, growing up, and just it was that special time of year. And again, as an adult, it doesn't really feel like that anymore. But when I have kids, it's gonna feel like that. I want it to feel like that for them because it's and it holds a special place in my heart, especially when my younger years. But you mentioned fake Christmas tree, and like growing up, we always had a fake Christmas tree at my grandma's house. But living in Oregon, that's a big no-no. And now, because dude, it's all forest up here, man. It's green, luscious greens everywhere. We got a real Christmas tree, and it smells nice.
We could have a real Christmas tree. It's not like they're in short supply. In fact, the farms around here, there's Christmas tree farms around here where it's like $10. You go get a tree for $10. Chop it down yourself. 15, they'll chop it down, bring it to your car for you. When you chop it down, you take it to them. They put it on a little shaking thing. That
puts the net around it.
And,
we got.
And
what
then
you're
put the
doing.
net around it. It's completely clean. All the burrs and leaves and
Yeah.
spare dead droppings, they're gone. There's no problem with having a real tree, except that they're a lot of hassle. They're a lot of work. It's a pain in the butt. They don't really do anything for you. Then you got to deal with them. And it's great that once you take all of the ornaments off the tree and put them in a box, that you can just break down the tree and put it in a box too. That's a beneficial thing. So
Yeah, that's a good point. But if you ever make it out here to the Northwest, I think you'll understand.
I have plans to come visit you.
We'll talk about something later, another time, because I have an idea at some point I'd like to share.
Like, I don't have the airfare. Apparently the east side of this nation does not like the west side of this nation. Like, I thought it was just a north and south. I didn't know that we had completely transected in both directions.
That's funny.
I don't know. Anyway.
But now you had mentioned something else, another topic that we can cover before we wrap up.
Yes.
I think it's a good one.
If you could convince Santa Claus to do one thing in the gaming industry for you, would be your very own Christmas present for you, what would be some of the things on that list? Like, obviously, the example that I gave you before the show started was the ability to capture on PlayStation 4 to just magically work.
Yep, that would be nice.
And I'm sure it'll come, but like I said, I don't see it coming before the new year.
No, I don't either.
That would be one thing. I see, and I want it for you. I do.
Yeah.
I do want it for you. Anything else on that list?
Do you have one in mind? Because I'm trying to think mine out here.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Go ahead while I gather my thoughts here.
I want Scuff to have controllers on the new consoles. I'm ready for that to happen. I understand why. I saw that they want to get it right.
Yeah.
You know what? No hate, dude. You want to get it right. Cool. I want all of the things that both of these consoles have promised to fix. I want them to be done. I want to be able to use my headset with my Xbox with full surround sound, not just stereo. I want that to happen. I want the bugs to be worked out, the interface on the Xbox to be a little cleaner. I want the notification system to be a little nicer. I want the gaming industry to listen to what people say whenever they're developing the next game. This is what I love about Borderlands. Okay, cool. We're not changing it. However, we're going to come out with this new game called Borderlands X. And it'll be released in 3 years, and it'll be all of those cool improvements you wanted. I want that to happen a little more. I want it to happen a little quicker.
Yeah.
And as far as the video game industry goes, I want Titanfall to fail. If I could have that fail, that would be. I don't care that much about it, to be honest with you.
That's harsh.
I don't want anyone to fail, but.
So one of the things that I want more story-driven games. I'm a big fan of story games. I like really deep, detailed stories that have some twists and turns in them. In few games, I really feel like give me that experience, and also games that really play on your emotions with the story. I like that. So, like for example, The Last of Us, it really plays with your emotions a little bit. It gets you really engulfed in the game and gets you almost emotionally involved. And I haven't found that in any other game I've played, hands down. And that's an experience that I think is really unique and cool. What were you going to say?
I watched you do another Let's Play that was a different game that was not The Last of Us.
Journey.
No. Journey?
Journey.
No, it wasn't Journey.
I think that's the only other one I've done.
Wasteland?
Oh, Fallout 3.
Fallout. Yes. Fallout 4 is coming.
Mm.
Fallout 4 is coming.
It hasn't been announced or confirmed. I want it to come, but continue with your thought process.
I just
or was
want to
that
let you know that.
Well, spoiler alert on the 5 spot if you haven't watched it. We talk about it.
I haven't seen this week's 5 spot. Did it come out?
It's currently in the works for this week. It probably will be filmed after we film this.
I know how that goes. I've had writer's block so bad.
Dude, this week has been crazy for me. I've been MIA.
Like I've got like 10. I carry this around with me now. So
that's good.
If I've got an idea, like I've noticed when I write down about a half a page on that book, will go 5-6 minutes. If I'll write those thoughts down and get my outline done, my video commentary works better.
Yep, that's what I have to do.
And rest assured, I don't write down a single line in there I actually repeat, unless it's just one single line. Most of it's just like talk about, bullets. And that may mean bullet conservation, that may mean magazine size, that may mean damage, that may mean anything, but it's, it's one word to remind me of 4 sentences that I meant to say.
Yep.
I've carried that around with me. When I sat down and started this latest series that I've got going, which is the Pro Tips series, which is not pro tips for pro players. It's not, all of these things that I'm going to cover. These videos are going to be boring to you. And to most of the people who are watching this, they're going to be pretty boring to you. But somebody taught you how to YY cancel your reload.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody taught you that, or you stumbled upon it and felt like a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody taught you how to stay alive to keep from dying. Somebody taught, and I don't want to give away too many of the future ones, but somebody taught you, whether it was just a comment or, hey man, don't you run this? What are you, stupid? Even if it was something like that you learned some of these pro tips, you learned them somewhere. I'm going to give you that opportunity, and I wanted to make them a higher effort video. So
that's cool.
I add in little clips of anything else, because you can make a commentary in, I don't know, 5 minutes of gameplay, scan the gameplay, 5 minutes of talking, scan the talking, I don't know, minimum 20 minutes, I think, to do all your editing. What does it take you, if you were trying to bang one out as fast as you possibly could, got all of your wording right on the first take, and were using gameplay over the top of it, could you probably bang one out in 20 minutes? Not counting render time.
If I already got the gameplay?
You've already got the gameplay. You have 5 minutes and 8 seconds worth of talking. You have a gameplay that's 5 minutes and 11 seconds.
Yeah. I'd say 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
It's not that hard to do a quick
still
commentary.
Have a pretty good video.
Mm-hmm.
These videos are taking me 3 or 4 hours a piece.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that I don't have any long pauses with no kills or no action going on. I want to make sure that if I say something comes up on the screen because it's an important point. I want to have a flowing vein through all of the videos, and that is that there's a theory at the beginning. Kind of like Mythbusters has a myth at the beginning that they start with. Mine has
Yeah.
a theory at the beginning. This is the theory. YY canceling gets you faster, gets you reloaded faster. Is that true or not? How do we talk about that? How do you do that? How can I teach you how to do that? What's the best way to YY reload cancel? And I even shout out, by the way, this video is going to go live today. Triangle reload. And sprint reload, because sprint's actually the way you should do it. But
Interesting. Might have to watch that one.
I actually give a little shout out and say that it can be triangle, but because of competition players play on the Xbox, it's called YY. Otherwise, it would be just as applicable on the PlayStation for it to be triangle.
It's true. It's very true.
And
Though I gotta say though, because I picked up GTA 5 recently, playing back on the 360, and the thumbsticks on the 360 compared to the PlayStation 4's, terrible.
They're huge.
Well, the thing is, like, because the PlayStation 4's like analog stick, it's concave and has a ring around it, and I like that for grip, as opposed to just like the little dots on the 360's controller.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really liking the PlayStation 4's controller. I really love it.
My Xbox 360s are password protected.
Mm-hmm.
So if my kids try to play Call of Duty or something, it won't let them. So they have to notify me, and whatever. It's a parent thing. So they asked, "Hey, Dad, can you come unlock Black Ops? We want to play the bots." Okay, so whatever. I go to unlock it. I grab the 360 controller. I'm like, oh wow, what is this thing? It feels so different to hold a 360 controller than a than an Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
I was gonna say PlayStation 1 controller. It will feel different
too.
Yeah, but like the thumbsticks are huge. I went in later to do something. I think my oldest son had to get his shoes out of the living room or something. So I was like, hey, go get your shoes. Let me see that real quick. Now I'll ramp them up and get them some really cool streaks or something. I grabbed the controller. I'm like, I can't play with this. The buttons, no worky. The thumbsticks were so huge. And they were playing the original Black Ops, and your character moves so much slower than it does in Ghosts. And he was running around with a Galil or something with no speed attachment perks or anything. I'm like, ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Take forever. What's on your holiday list? What do you want the gaming industry to give us?
I want fanboyism to die. I'm so tired of it.
Oh, please, yes.
I'm tired of hearing about Xbox One or PlayStation 4 being superior. I'm tired of hearing about Call of Duty being superior to Battlefield, or vice versa, or just, play what you like, enjoy it, and appreciate the fact that you have so many options out there and so many different games to play. Like, they're all good games in their own right. Enjoy them. Enjoy what you like. You don't need to say one's better than the other, I mean, they're very different games, and I'm getting really tired of hearing about it. And like, if you see some of those, maybe it's a COD-centric channel, or maybe it's someone who's very pro Xbox One, when they start hating on something that they haven't even played, like, for example, on the Call of Duty, when they say, I hate Battlefield for these reasons, though you probably haven't even played it, that bugs me so much. I'm not going to name, there's just one guy that he has a channel that's really blown up recently because he's capitalized his videos to all they talk about is the console wars and fanboys, and he's a very Xbox One centric guy. Everything he says about the PlayStation 4 just puts it down. And I watched a couple of his videos. I used to be subbed to this guy because he had some great content before, until he blew up and put all these fanboy videos out. But I unsubbed him, and I almost wanted to. I didn't leave him a comment because I don't want to, be that guy that's gonna, do that. But I just want to be like, dude, why are you doing this? This is stupid. I know you're probably doing it for the views and to blow up like you have, but you sound uneducated, even though you might be educated, and I doubt you've even used the PlayStation 4. that would be awesome if that could go. That would probably be on the top of my wish list. I'm just so tired of it.
I'm there with you, man. I got my first videos for the Xbox One where I had issues. Had a guy leave comments that were actually pretty terrible. Yes. No, not on. He had to leave comments about how the Xbox One was terrible, and then it was almost like he didn't look to see that he also commented. I made 2 videos that were very similar, and so he left a very similar message on it. It's like, what do? Copy and paste. I hate Xbox One. It's terrible. It's got trash. You know, you wasted $500. Copy. Okay, this guy likes the Xbox. We'll paste it on there. Send it. This guy likes the Xbox. We'll paste it on there. Send it. This guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you just go around hating on something just to hate on it, dude? If you love your PlayStation 4,
that's what people do. I mean,
good for you, man. Congratulations. I'm glad you like your PlayStation 4. I really and truly, I'm happy that you paid $400 and got something that you're happy that you paid $400 for.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And in the same line of thinking, if you love the Xbox One and you just really enjoy it, congratulations. WhackMed19's my username. Invite me, I'll come play with you. If you want to hate on something just to say something is bad, you suck. And you're just dumb. And I actually follow. I think I follow the guy that's in the chat. I follow him on Twitter, and all he does anymore is I don't watch any of his video content, and I'm not subbed to him, but I do watch him on Twitter just to see what he says, and it's complete fanboyism. And if he will retweet anyone who says Call of Duty sucks, he will retweet anyone who can find a new way to say Call of Duty Ghosts is the worst Ghosts ever made. You know what, dude? You don't like it? That's fine. If it took you 10 minutes to play free-for-all, I'm sorry your interaction wasn't beneficial for you. If you can't play a team deathmatch in 6 minutes, I'm sorry your interaction wasn't beneficial for you. You know what the worst thing in Call of Duty Ghosts is right now? The fact that I don't know. I like it that much. I'm really enjoying myself. How about that? I love it. It's the best Call of Duty that's ever came out. I'll fanboy over it a little bit. I think they have done nothing but improve over previous Call of Duties. It is an improvement. It's a little different. Good. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And the worst part about Call of Duty Ghosts is not even Ghosts. It's the app that helps you with the clan wars. That needs a little bit of fixing. Other than that, being notified that my party is ready to play with me, or that one of my friends just got on to play with me from the Xbox, that would help a little bit. I got nothing else, dude. You just want to hate, go hide under a rock. I got a reformed troll who can come talk to you. Maybe that'll help you out. Thank you, dude, that no longer wishes my dad was dead. 2 shout-outs.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. I'm over it. You know, I'm really tired of that. I was trying to think of something. I want one other wish list for the gaming industry, but I think we nailed it. I mean, having all the things that are wrong with both consoles, you know, the little glitches, the little bugs that might, you know, don't work. I mean, come on, let's get that fixed. Mm-hmm. You know, I actually think the PlayStation recently did an update. I haven't fully tested it, but I think my headset officially works with the PlayStation. That sucks that yours can't yet with your
yours works when you plug it into the controller, right?
It did, but I think they finally updated it to where I can use it normally like I could on the 360.
With I think the chat they did an update. Everything?
Yeah, with the chat. I haven't tested it,
Let me
but someone was telling me about that.
This is what plugs into the bottom of your controller for the Xbox One.
It's so big.
No, it's perfect. It really is. And this is the connection that goes in, and those two are different lengths, you see? No, they're not different lengths either. Maybe that's my issue. I thought that was. Anyway.
You got a bum one.
I got a bum one. Let me get this thing plugged in. So it fits right here underneath the controller. as
Yeah.
it goes in, and your hands, like you can't see this, but your hands never touch it, and like my fingers just touch the tip of the pad right there. But
Yeah.
what's great about this is that it's like another set of buttons. So when you
Yeah.
want to turn the volume up and down, which is what, this one side over here is the button,
Yeah.
the volume up and down. And
Yeah.
then this is mute yourself or not mute and unmute yourself. It's all right there. Like on my X11s, my Turtle Beach X11s, I have to find take my hand off the controller, find the mute button,
Yeah.
and mute myself. On my what are these XP 400s? My Turtle Beaches, you have to mute yourself by pushing a button on the side of your ear. So if it's on your head, you still have to hit the button and take your hands off the controller. Having that, like, even when they make it so that I can use my headset, I still want the ability to mute myself on the controller. That's really awesome. What's not really
cool.
awesome, folks, and I've got cotton ball wrapped around my microphone. Everybody, please go do this, because this thing is extremely sensitive. What I'm tired of is having to play like this.
Oh, you play like that?
Because
Can you not hear
absolutely.
the chat through your headset?
No, not when you plug it in. It sends it up to the
Oh.
thing. And yeah, I wish I could. I haven't.
Is there not a setting? Because on 360, I know there's
The
a setting to
360
where you can play it through both.
Did have a setting, but I would much rather wear it like this.
Yeah, because that I've had before. Because when I first got my Astros, I had to do that because one of my cables wasn't working. Come to find out, and I had to do that, but I could still hear the chat through the headset. I'm surprised there's no setting on that for the Xbox One. That's weird.
I haven't looked, honestly. I haven't spent that much time looking. But everybody, this is a little scrunchy thing for your hair, wrapped around a cotton ball on the microphone. It will deafen the wind. It'll mute the wind coming in, because I've got a fan right here.
It acts as a pop.
Huh?
I said it acts as a pop filter.
It does act as a pop filter without making you sound terrible. And even on, like, I don't know, this is going to be poppy, so sorry. Like, I've got a pop filter on the mic that I'm using right now.
Mm-hmm.
You should always have a pop filter.
I actually am not currently using one. This is the moment I have one. I'm just not using it.
I know that you have in the past, though.
No, yeah. No, I just... It doesn't grip to my stand very well, so I just stopped using it for a little bit until I find out a better way to use it. But I've been noticing, as far like when I'm at a good distance, because I turn up the mic a little bit and kind of stand away a little bit, it's not that bad. And you haven't said anything, so it hasn't been too shabby.
You haven't popped yet, on my end anyway. So, oh no, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Sorry, stand by, people.
What is that?
I don't know how to get back to this. How do you close this thing out of here? Help!
Well, I can't help you. I don't know what you're doing.
I got the YouTube thing opened up and can't get rid of it.
Isn't there like an X button in the upper corner?
No.
All right, then. They probably changed that
How do you
too.
get rid of your YouTube thing?
I'll pull it up and see what happens. Like the little YouTube app on the bar on the side.
There we go. You unclick it.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I'm not
Sorry,
gonna mess with
peoples.
it. Not gonna mess with it, but yeah. I mean, I think that does it for our topics on the show.
I think we're good. Thank you for joining us for episode 27. And the real reason that... let me go ahead and finish the outro. Thank you to Strictly Business Gaming. We really appreciate you hooking us up and supporting us. Go check them out, sbusinessgaming.com or strictlybusinessgaming.com. sbusinessgaming on Twitter.
At sbusinessgaming. Yep.
At sbusinessgaming. And they're poised to take Philly for the UMG. So
yep, that'll be interesting.
They're doing some pretty cool stuff over there with that. Great guys from just south of me here in Tampa. Episode 27 is in the books. The real reason that Oyster's not here is because that Oyster and Bonfire no longer get along with each other. They hate each other's guts because of the discussions that they've had in the past. That's why, like, Oyster wasn't here. And then they tried that one episode where they came back together, and then Bonfire didn't show up. And then Bonfire was like, I'm going to show up this week. 27's mine. And now Oyster's like, fine, I'm not going to be here. And I'm making all this up. So if you believe it, that's your fault. But,
I was gonna go along with it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was gonna say we're gonna start alternating episodes,
alternating episodes. I'm just.
but
Did you see that one comment that somebody left on my video? He's like a 40-year-old dad, a virgin, and a squeaker. Great episode. I'm like, wow. So are you the squeaker or are you the virgin?
I'm probably gonna go with the virgin because my voice doesn't squeak. So I imagine Oysters has in the past.
The dude liked the show, and I was like, hey, let us know something.
If that's how you want to label us, fine, but whatever.
See, that's why I'm saying you can misunderstand what a compliment is. But
yeah,
leave your compliments down below. See, they can't get my hand gestures. Thanks.
Down below. There we go.
Yeah, 27, 28 next week. Tweet at us. Hashtag 3bar exploits. Thanks. Have a great day.